Hi, my name's Tabria and I'm making voter guides for every single state for the midterms this year, and today we're doing Georgia. First of all, my bad on getting this up late because the voter registration deadline has passed. I'm so sorry. But there is still kind of a way that you can participate in the primary. So your primary election day is May 19th and you have about 4 weeks of early voting, but Georgia is one of the few states that has a top 50% rule, which means if a candidate doesn't reach 50% of the votes, then it goes into a runoff. And this will probably be the case for a few of y'all's races. So the runoff election date is June 16th, and if there is a runoff in the federal elections, which is your US House and Senate, you'll be able to vote in that runoff if you're registered by May 18th. But if there's a runoff in any of your statewide races, you would have had to been registered by April 20th. So I hope that makes sense. You'll have a lot going on and I won't be able to go through everything, but as always, you can screenshot the guide here or it's in my bio with everything hyperlinked. All right, so for your US Senate race, keep John Ossoff right where he's at. I didn't realize he won by such a narrow margin last time, so be sure y'all show up for him in November. Thank you. All right, on to the governor's race. So all the polls are showing Keisha Lance Bottoms significantly ahead of all the other Democratic candidates. And I know she's a favorite right now, but I remember her being a big supporter of Cop City, which is the police training facility that cost y'all like $120 million. And y'all had a lot to say about that back then. So looking at what y'all are working with, your top 4 candidates are Bottoms, Duncan, Thurmond, and Estevez. Jeff Duncan is the former Republican lieutenant governor of Georgia, and he started separating from MAGA 2 to 3 years ago, but I'm sorry, I can't trust it. He was a big supporter of the heartbeat bill, and he's just now realizing that that was a mistake. Nah. Now Mike Thurmond, I just don't think he's an excitable candidate, and he still doesn't have his policies up on his website. Like, you're running for governor, you need to make it as easy as possible for people to know where you stand. Now, who I really like is Jason Estevez. He's slowly been climbing up in the polls, and I genuinely think he has a real shot. He's a former state senator and educator, and he has the most comprehensive platform that tells you how he's going to accomplish it. His focus is on healthcare, education, Black maternal health, Black men's mental health, and he's pro-cannabis legalization. When it comes to data centers, he says that he will enforce regulation, offer no handouts, make them pay their fair share. They can't pull from natural resources, and they can only go into communities that want them. I think this race will more than likely go into a runoff between either Bottoms and Estevez or Bottoms and Duncan. And whoever it is, you show up no matter what in November. All right, I gotta move on. Y'all have one of the most powerful lieutenant governors in the country, and they control y'all state senate and what legislation gets pushed forward. Nabila Parks is a progressive who is running in the gubernatorial race, but dropped out and resigned from her state senate seat to run for lieutenant governor. I checked out her website, but like Mike Thurmond, she doesn't have her policy positions on there either, but I really like Josh McLaurin. He is also in the state senate and still fulfilling his role while running for lieutenant governor, and he is known for being very outspoken. He is not afraid to call people out. I like this guy. Last thing I'm gonna cover is your state Supreme Court. Y'all have had a conservative Supreme Court for quite some time now, and y'all can change that with Miracle Rankin and Jen Jordan. They each have their own things that they're focused on, but they both support protecting constitutional rights and having equitable justice. All right, that is it for today, and now it's time for your homework. Be sure you're registered to vote and periodically check your registration in case of any funny business going on. Check your sample ballot and polling place so you know what you'll be voting on beforehand, and tell a friend to tell a friend. Share this with 3 friends online and offline so we can get as many people to the polls as possible. And next up is Oregon.